Good evening to you, Hannes. I think we've all seen clips from that very fractious meeting doing the rounds on social media. Is that why the SABC has ultimately decided to put everything on hold, or is it because of the threat of the blackout?
Well, I think something that we need to just put in perspective, it is only at News where the GE of News has said that she will not continue to issue those retrenchment letters to staff members. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. There's currently court action busy being prepared by Bamawu. We intend to bring an urgent application to bring the SABC back to a consultation process. And then today, when a lot of news people received those letters, that of course caused shockwaves amongst employees, especially loyal employees that's been working there for quite some time. And then there was a request for a meeting with the GE of News, failing which they will not go on air. And in a short space of time, that meeting was arranged. That was attended by the Group Executive of Human Resources, the COO, and then the GE of News.
All right, so this is only, so the retrenchments are only on hold in the news department. Isn't that going to lead to other people facing retrenchment in other parts of the organisation saying, hey, this isn't fair?
It follows it must, because that is clearly, and I'm told I was part of that particular meeting virtually for some time, but I was told that after I was cut off from that particular meeting, that there was an admission by the executives that proper consultation did not take place, and that is exactly what we've been complaining about all along, is to say, come back to the table, consult with staff members, and we believe that similar action will follow at the SABC, where other departments will say, well, you know, we are in the same situation. We've not been properly consulted on this. The consultation process was aborted by the COO of the SABC on the 16th of October, when after they presented their structures, he said, consultation will end here today. We are not going to consult with you any further, whilst the agreement was that we will have an opportunity to then take back what has been presented to us, get input from members, and even if it's necessary, then to engage the executives of those particular divisions, and then come back to the meeting to start consulting with the SABC, right. And that never happened.
So what I'm hearing you saying, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is that the process is not being correctly followed, which is absolutely crucial in a time of retrenchment. Do you, though, accept that retrenchments have to happen at the SABC? We know that SABC staff cost ratio is the highest across the board compared to other broadcasting houses.
Well, I think there's a vast difference between the SABC and other broadcasters. I think the SABC is unique in the world. It's the only broadcaster that we're aware of that must broadcast by legislation in 11 languages. So naturally their staff complement will be more, because there is not one person that would supervise an English bulletin, for instance, going out. You're going to have
I'm not talking about staff, sorry, just to correct, I'm not talking about staff numbers. I'm talking about what percentage of the budget goes to staff, and that ratio is higher at the SABC than anywhere else.
Well, if you have 11 people that would serve 11 languages, for instance, then you will have 11 times more staff in certain areas that would then increase your staff costs. So it would be then higher for the SABC than any other broadcaster in the world, because there's not one person that can supervise only one language bulletin. You will need 11 people to do that, so the staff cost will be higher.
Are you saying then that retrenchments mustn't happen, or are you acknowledging that they probably will be part of the mix along with the salary increase freeze?
So you see, here's the thing. The SABC has publicly said that their management structure is bloated. In the presentations that was done to us, they have increased in certain areas general managers by 4 or 5 people. And when we questioned them on that, they said, well, this is what the business requires. Well, isn't that exactly what the previous management has said? So what we are saying is, yes, if there is a rationale and people cannot be retrained, they cannot be redeployed, and they do not have work. Of course, the SABC is not a charity organization, and they cannot keep those people. But we have not seen evidence of that. The SABC are chasing profits, they are chasing a surplus, and at the expense of the public broadcaster and staff. And we are saying that is wrong. If there's evidence that there are really people that cannot be allocated anywhere, then surely the SABC must then enter into a humane process to then part with those people, but not 400, 600, 800 or 900 people.
Well, thank you very much for chatting to us this evening. That was the President of the Broadcast, Electronic Media and Allied Workers Union, Bamawu Hannes Buisson, and confirming to us that in fact retrenchments are on hold at the SABC only within the news department at this point, though it is likely, as Hannes was explaining, to then become across the SABC.